Hello, everybody, and welcome to Roll for Priority, a brand new podcast style series that we're going to be running here on the channel. Really excited to jump into this. I am joined by Reed and Alex. How's it going, guys?
Oh, it's
Hello.
going good.
Going good.
Pretty good.
Alrighty. Yeah, so this is going to be a new series. We're going to be kind of filling things out probably for the first handful of episodes and deciding what we want to do with it exactly. But this is going to be a primarily MCP focused, but kind of wargaming in general podcast where we're going to be talking about trying to alternate between specifically MCP topics and just kind of general wargaming topics. So today we're starting with an MCP topic since that's what most of you guys are here for on the channel. And we're going to be talking about underplayed leaders in affiliations that are actually played. So we're not looking at the very bottom of the barrel here and taking, affiliations that are bad and being like, well, their leader's bad because their affiliation's bad. We're specifically looking at the models where they have an affiliation that sees competitive play, but this leader doesn't. And we're going to be talking about why, how we could fix that, and things like that. So we've all kind of come into this with two picks that we wanted to talk about. And of course, if we end up not talking about one that you really wanted to talk about, or you really wanted to hear us talk about, definitely sound off in the comments down below. Let us know what ones you guys would have been interested in hearing us talk about. So yeah, with all that said, I think we're going to go ahead and jump into things here. So we're going to be pulling up the long statistics here to kind of, put some data behind what we're talking about. And I'm going to be starting out with Web Warriors here, where I want to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man leadership, because I really like Amazing Spider-Man, but as you can see, he is criminally underplayed compared to Miles. Miles getting 3,490 games in the last year, with ASM only getting 215 and a difference of 7% in their win rates. All things considered, Peters isn't too bad, but the game count is just abysmal. So let's
Yeah.
let's kind of start there. So I don't know about you guys, but I've tried to run the ASM leadership before. I've built lists with it in mind, and very much kind of come away from it as a no, every game I should have run Miles, and I don't know how often I actually was able to force myself to even put it on the board.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like ASM is a really good character if you just put your thumb over top of the leadership.
Yeah.
Everything else on his card is really good. It's just that leadership does not do a lot
No.
for any game plan, really.
Which is weird because it has interesting control effects. Being able to place an opposing model within one of its current position is a way to just say they're off of an objective now, and giving out the slow condition is obviously useful with stuff like all webbed up. So in theory, you could play almost like an attrition-y control list with this. But I think the root of the issue for it is that nobody in Web Warriors, I might eat those words, but I'm pretty sure nobody in Web Warriors gives out the slow condition natively, and Web Warriors just isn't built to be an attrition faction right now. They have like kind of Silver Sable, Daredevil, and Gwenom for attrition pieces, maybe Venom.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah, it's
really
pretty
that hard
lacking.
hitting. Agent Venom, I feel, can hit
Agent, you
decently
know what?
hard,
Yeah,
though.
that's yeah. All three of the Venom models in here are
Yeah,
can play attrition, although Venom's definitely fallen behind the curve. Um,
for sure.
And honestly, as much as I love Gwenom, probably my favorite model in the game, she also just doesn't perform. She's very inconsistent. Um,
My my biggest problem with Amazing Spider-Man's leadership is that it's like you have to spend because none of them are getting out the slows. What it actually looks like in practice is Amazing Spider-Man pays power, slows someone, then your opponent gets a turn, then it goes back to you, and then Miles pays a power and places someone and removes the slow. It's a leadership that takes 2 power across 2 activations to do the cool thing.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that is the root of it, right? Like, I think this leadership in a world where you have better ways to give out slow is actually pretty viable. I don't know if you guys agree.
I
Um,
think
I think it needs the place part should not remove the slow, to be honest, because you're spending 2 power for this,
I think I agree with that.
and the
yeah,
slow is actually might be more relevant than the place a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think there are
Uh,
absolutely.
definitely cases where well, and any model that hasn't activated yet, right?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Removing
Um,
the slow, basically saying if you want to place that guy again, you're gonna have to redo. Like that's another 2 power. Placing a guy twice costs 4 power. That's a lot.
Yeah, so
Yep.
like for me, I think there are two things that I'm kind of looking at this leadership. Like we want to keep the theme of it if we can, right? We don't want to just revamp it entirely. Um, but I think if we're gonna fix this, I think the first thing we do is exactly like you said. Maybe it keeps the slow when you do the place. That means you're
Sure.
not undoing what your first power did, and you're still getting the really powerful place effect. That's great in that situation. I think the other thing you do is you put Iceman in affiliation. You give a model that's really good at handing out slow, and suddenly you have, first of all, an amazing beam for that all webbed up turn, and secondly, a model that synergizes extremely well with that leadership.
I think flavor-wise, he's a bit of a weird include, but playstyle-wise, he
Is he? Because
absolutely
I thought
fits.
I thought Webbs was one of the places that people were like saying he could be.
Oh, I'm behind on my specifically Iceman lore here.
Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong here.
I don't know X-Men outside of X-Men that well.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, their interactions.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but someone like
Oh,
Iceman in
that's
that
why,
case.
because Iceman was in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I knew I was getting that from somewhere. Like I'm not pulling a Beta Ray should be an X-Men out
The
here.
very
Read.
canon 1981 animated series. Very canon.
Yeah. No, I knew it came from somewhere because I remember when Iceman was revealed, a lot of people were talking about him being a web, and that must be where it was from.
Most definitely. But I could totally see it.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Or really like who else gives out slows that could make sense there, or even just as a good splash if the leadership felt better.
Uh,
Uh,
Characters who
There's
slow.
not that
Well,
many, right?
no, there's not a ton.
okay, I will give the slight caveat that we are about to get Spider Ham, who has a wild slow on his gainer, which is
Yeah,
That's true.
something.
that is very true.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure. Maybe Hawkeye.
Hawkeye would be interesting.
Uh,
I don't know if he makes sense to be in webs, but he would be interesting. Like, does Hawkeye really team up with Spidey all that often? I know I just pulled out Iceman, but Iceman was with him in the show.
doesn't
Iceman
Elsa
was
get
with.
Sorry,
Hmm?
Elsa?
Elsa? Yeah, does
I
she?
also
Or
unfortunately don't think Elsa
yeah, she
would
does. No, it doesn't make sense. But she gives slows.
as a splash though, theoretically.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
Iceman aside, then what else would we want to do? Because like I don't think removing the or it not removing the slow is enough to make this a good leadership. I think it
I think they
helps.
also need more models that have better power generation and that aren't as power hungry.
You know what? That's
Because
actually
like
very
web,
true.
yeah, like a lot of the webs
Yeah,
are very much want to use their power on their superpowers.
Well, like yeah, because you have stuff like Spec Spidey, for example, who he's going to zero every turn. He's gaining exactly enough to do what he wants to do, doing the thing,
yeah.
and moving on.
Their
Yep.
economy on power is very, very tight,
It
and
is.
having that spare power, I I could see them maybe only having to pay one for the place. Like if they were able to just for free put out slow once per activation.
I don't hate that.
That'd be. I'm fine with the place maybe being free, but I think the slow just like
Just
that just fits Web Warriors game plan a bit too easy if they could just
that's the
automatically do it.
yeah, the issue is that like if once I'm thinking about webs, if you make it one, that's too much, and if you make it zero, that's too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one. Maybe you do the opposite. Maybe you make the place part the zero cost if they're already slowed, but then no, that might be okay. That's really strong, I think. But that
Yeah,
might
that's
be
still be
okay.
quite strong.
Yeah, that's why I hesitated to bring that in because I don't think there's any because it costs one. There's no reduction you could give it that
No.
No.
maybe
Is
maybe if they you have to pay one for both of them, but you can either keep the slow on them after the place or remove the slow and gain a power.
I don't hate that.
That'd also be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Because I'm trying to think of like things we can compare this leadership to because it is fairly unique. And
Mhm.
I am struggling to think of a leadership that places an opponent's model. Um,
Uh, there isn't.
there
I
isn't.
don't believe.
I don't think so
Off
either.
the top of my
That's
head, I don't think there
Yeah.
is.
yeah. So this like
Closest I can think of is Maximus, but that's
well, and I
my
think
own model.
So that's different.
yeah, well, yeah, like,
Very
there's
different.
tons that do your own models, and Maximus places has your opponent place your model, but yeah, I think that's part of why it's so like janky and ended up being underpowered is because being able to place your opponent's models, just like having that be something that every model on your team can do is crazy good. I mean, it's
It
part of
is.
Web Warrior's strength in the first place, right? Is that pretty much their entire faction can do that. So it's
Which
definitely a big part of it.
quite difficult to walk that tightrope
Yeah,
and make it something playable but not oppressive.
but I do really like your idea of like, okay, you can either remove the slow condition and effectively have not spent power for it, or you get to keep the slow condition on if you have the power to spend. I do really like that. And I think it helps with
Mhm.
the power economy part of the leadership. Actually, alternative to this, whether you keep the slow or not, I'm not sure about, but maybe you just add a line to the leadership that says once per turn when an allied web warrior character attacks a character with the slow special condition, they gain a power.
I'm
Interesting.
fine with that.
You help the
Yeah.
power gen of the leadership and to afford the leadership, and you give more reasons to hand out those slows outside of the all webbed up turn,
No,
Also
absolutely.
encourages web warriors to actually interact with the board a bit more.
which
It
I for
does.
one
It
would be a huge
also
fan of.
kind of more
Yep.
solidifies him as the more attrition-y leader, like having that extra power generation to do your
Yeah,
throws, do your spenders.
yeah. You know what? Actually, I think that's that, and you put Iceman in the affiliation, and I'm happy with it. I don't even like Iceman.
Iceman
Like
with his
honestly, I don't run
amazing
Iceman
friends.
there. But I do it. All
Okay, sure.
right.
I wouldn't
So
complain if Iceman was part of it.
all right.
But putting
So
Iceman there would give you like the attrition angle or the control angle. Like
yeah,
you could
like
have
I
options.
that's what I think is interesting is like that becomes a leadership you can pivot whether you need to play the attrition game or the control game, and I think that's cool. I think
Mhm.
that's a really fun, interactive, and interesting leadership that could potentially be oppressive if they're not careful with it, but is cool. Alrighty, so that's enough on ASM for now. I think we'll move on. I'm just gonna go in the order that I have you guys open in Discord here. So Reed, what's your first pick here?
Yeah, so my first pick is Baron Helmet Zemo. So Zemo 2.
Yeah.
Um,
This is so Zemo 2. Let's pull up the stats over here first things first. So we go
yeah,
into leaders. Hydra already not doing amazing with a 47. But Zemo here with only 49 games played out of their 1800 and 37% win rate. Something's gone wrong here.
it's
Mhm.
pretty abysmal.
It is pretty bad. So
Yeah.
let's talk about why. Army of Evil, for those unfamiliar, because you never see this model hit the board. Basically, he lets you have a sixth tactics card. It has to be Hydra or unaffiliated, but that's fine because you're playing Hydra, so it has to be one of those. I guess they have to add that caveat because of when you pick your tactics cards. Anyways, you get a sixth tactics card, and once each turn, after one or more characters pay power to play a card, choose one of the characters that paid power, and they gain one power. So you basically get a bit of a refund on one of the characters that played that card if it was one that was played by multiple. Um, yeah, let's read. Why is this leadership bad?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with something outside of the leadership. I think is needs to be mentioned.
Yeah,
Zemo 3, Zemo 1,
yeah.
is the without a doubt Hydra's best 3 threat.
Yes.
So right away you have the alias problem. And the second Zemo is not the greatest model. It's a bit below. He's a bit below curve. So I think the model himself needs to become better. He doesn't need to become Zemo 1.
Yeah.
But he definitely needs to be a good model. To
If
even compete.
if we make him six stamina on the front, because he's 5'6", right? If we make him six
Yeah.
stamina on the front, we move him to a long mover. Is he fine?
Maybe I also might want to see his quick step lose the objective restriction because I just don't
I
think it's
don't hate that.
necessary on him in particular.
I
Um,
I
I
think if you make
understand
him
why
a
they've done it on other
long
models.
mover, it's fine.
Yeah, it might be. It's just the other Zemo can like charge and then
Yeah.
um do his
Well,
bender to move afterwards. So it's like
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, you're right. No, you're totally
Yeah.
right.
Also, if you keep Quick Step at a medium, that allows him to mirror, and you make him a long, that allows him to mirror the movement of Zemo 1.
That totally
Yeah.
does.
Like the long move, Quick Step, long move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's my first suggestion for this buff. The other thing that I'm going to talk about outside of outside of the leadership a little bit, because the leadership deals with tactics cards. I think Hydra needs better affiliated tactics cards that he
Absolutely.
actually wants to bring.
I mean, I think that's a
So
huge part of the problem.
it
What the
is, yeah.
heck? This
Um,
is what's that one that lets you steal someone's model for scoring? This is that card erasure.
Like that card's not bad, but even then, it's pretty specific. That's inevitable betrayal, right?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
need to spend 8 power to do that. You need to have a Hydra specific character there, and they need to be within 2 of the enemy character that's contesting the point. It is a good card, don't get me wrong. All of that is worth the 1 VP you're likely to get out of it, but it's a lot.
Yeah, like my main suggestion was them to bring back some old like banned cards, kind of like they did with was it Doom Prophecy in Asgard and like Medpack and Shield.
Yeah.
So like
Okay.
advanced R&D, but make it like Hydra only.
Yeah.
Could be cool. Just stuff like that. Just to give them like him a better pool that he actually wants to pull from.
No, I think I agree.
I
'Cause
don't hate that.
in Hydra, like Hydra kind of has like 2.5 cards, and the half card is different depending what you're playing. Because like Inevitable Betrayal, I do think is a real card. I'm gonna stand on that. World Domination is a
Yeah.
real card if you're playing the right scenario and you're playing Red Skull 2. And Occult Research is also a kind of real card if you're playing Red Skull 2.
What about
Yeah, and even
the
like
High Council?
The High Council is not a
That's a
real
fun
card.
card.
I love it, but it's not a real card. It's
Wow.
it's funny.
Yeah. Sleeper Agent's also a real card.
A Sleeper Agent is a real card, but it's not a Hydra card.
Technically,
It's
no.
unaffiliated, which is also an option.
Yes, Sleeper Agent is a real card. I think technically, I don't know if you would have to, if you'd even be allowed to pick this as your 6th card. Not that it matters, you just pick it as your 5th, and then pick your 6th as whatever your 5th would have been. But
Why couldn't you pick this?
You can
one?
technically pick it. I just don't know if it.
I'm not sure about
would
the timing
go
on
that
whether or
with
not it
function.
actually equips to your character.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be difficult.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a real card if you're playing the type of list that supports it.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think I mean, when you're talking about Zemo's leadership, I think that's the biggest issue, right? Is that he just doesn't have a good pool of cards to pick from. Most of the Hydra affiliated characters don't really have cards they specifically want to bring, other than like I am a Baron, which I guess Zemo 2 still
Your
wants.
leader. Yeah.
Like he does still want that. So that's the other problem though, is his leadership has now paid his own personal tax.
Yeah.
And that's like, and now you get a refund when you pay power into your other tactics cards. Also, some of the ones we have mentioned, like Sleeper Agent, don't cost power. So there's that
Yeah.
too.
That's
The restriction
the
on
other
having
thing.
to pay for it is something.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I want to see change about his leadership is the way you get power refunded on the tax cards. I think is just it's a bit restrictive, like for what the leadership is.
First thing,
I
make it
think
all characters.
Yeah, I think all characters that played the tactic card should get refunded, and I don't think it needs to be limited to once per turn.
Oh, geez, I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Because like it's actually them paying power to it, and I might even go so far as to say, since the tactics cards being played aren't as often as other power leaderships, that even if you don't play power on a tactics cards, that you should still get a power.
Oh, you put
I'm
advanced
okay with
R&D
that.
in Hydra and you do that? That's scary.
It's scary, but like maybe make the advanced R&D Hydra only and stuff like that. If you restrict it to like affiliated,
Okay, that helps.
Character-
I
Yeah.
don't know if I love that with the advanced R, like the Hydra R&D we are hypothetically adding in, but as is, I'm okay
that's
with
fair.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair too.
I still think you do, like, the other side of this is, like, even if you're not doing specifically advanced R&D, Hydra needs at least 1 or 2 more, like, solid, they don't even have to be good, they need to be solid tactics cards.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they do have too many cards that are like, these cards are fun or funny, but they're not actually good. But yeah, okay, so let's say I'm hesitant on advanced R&D, but let's say advanced R&D is now a Hydra card, and we make
Yeah.
the changes that you have suggested. So we change the leadership. It's not once per turn. You don't have to pay power to gain it, and every character that paid power, quote unquote, can gain a power for it. And we give him a long move, and we remove the reduction on quick step, and he's now a 6/6. Is Zemo leadership run?
I would personally run it.
Yeah. Do we think it has a significant boost to his win rate?
I would have to assume so at that point. Like the power
Yeah.
economy you're kind of unlocking at that point.
I think so
I
as
still
well.
don't think he would beat out like Red Skull, maybe, but like I still think it would be.
So
there for him.
here's my theory is I think it significantly boosts his win rate. I think it easily puts him to like a 45. But I don't think his play rate actually goes up all that much because you still have to give up OG Zemo, and even with the changes we suggested to him, you're giving up OG Zemo. You're giving up the best 3-threat in affiliation.
Yeah,
that's the
there is a
biggest
pretty
difficulty.
steep fall off. After
Yeah,
that.
well,
There
I
is.
mean, what is it? Crossbones.
Crossbones 2 is
Sola,
good.
Sin. Like some of these models are fine. Like
Yeah,
Zola
like,
is
once you hit-
playable.
Zola's playable. Crossbones 2 is fine, but everything else just kind of
Yeah.
is also
Like
affiliated.
we do know people who swear by Strucker. He's wrong,
Yeah.
but he swears by him. I hope you're watching this.
Well,
Zach.
like Strucker is like he's fine as a 3 as your leader. I think.
Yeah, that's
Like if he's
where I
not
am
your
with him.
leader and you're not playing into him, I don't think you bring him anywhere.
That's pretty much exactly where I stand on him. But yeah, okay.
Yep.
I do agree though. I think it helps his win rate a lot, but I still think people have a hard time choosing to play him over playing 3-threat Zemo.
Yeah, and without nerfing original Zemo, I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah, like I think you maybe the version of this
Change,
maybe
We just
steals
reduce the
100 or
faction's
2.
win rate as a whole.
Ideally, they also have better 3 threats. That's
yeah.
not.
Well, yeah,
they're not where they're not
bring
crushing
Zemo-
on Zemo.
Bring Zemo 1 down and bring the rest of their 3s up.
Specifically bring
Yeah,
Sin and
that's-
Viper up. I want to see Sin and Viper hit the table.
Sure, that would help a lot too.
Like,
Yeah.
man, I painted my Sin and Viper not that long ago, and they have not hit the table. And I really want them to, but I just can't. I can't do it.
That was your mistake.
I should force it soon, but we'll see. Anyways.
Awesome.
All right, so yeah, that's Zemo out of the way there. Alrighty, we're on to Alex. What's your first pick here?
Ooh, I finally get to step on Reed's toes because
You
I
do.
went with Cyclops
Yeah,
of the X-Men.
You're stealing. All right, so let's do the Longshanks part of this first. Where is X-Men on this list? They're pretty low because they're played by a lot of newer players. And they have Cyclops dragging them down. Oh my God, is he dragging
By a
them down?
lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yes. Cyclops has a lot of games played and not a huge win rate.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean when I say he's like the X-Men affiliation gets dragged down a fair bit by a lot of kind of newer players saying, "Oh, X-Men's a really fun faction. I want to play that faction," and Cyclops being the kind of straightforward, the attrition leadership that a lot of people are going to want to play, and he's to top all of that off, he's not that good. So it's like you're getting a combination of he's going to be probably the go-to for new players that are interested in X-Men, and he's not very good. So even though they're going for the attrition game plan, which is probably one of the easier game plans to be able to do well with, you're doing it with kind of subpar options.
Yeah, they're not. X-Men really isn't an attrition faction. And though they do have a couple of good attrition pieces in faction, New Gambit,
heavily
Domino,
over Domino. Oh yeah,
X-23.
Domino did nothing wrong.
Logan to a
Psylocke.
decent extent.
Logan
Psylocke.
and OG Wolverine for that matter.
Logan and Wolverine are both good things.
You know what?
And
Actually,
once
X-Men has a very solid attrition pool. Cable's there
that's
too.
the wild thing to me is I look at them and I was like, oh, how many attrition
Yes.
pieces can they possibly have? Can I make an
Nightcrawler.
entire list of
You
10
actually
that's just
totally
their
can.
attrition
Like
pieces?
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah, you
4,
can.
5,
You
6,
can.
So,
7, 8,
so
9,
what's the
10.
issue
We don't have
here?
a leader, but we picked
They
10.
don't have a leadership that properly supports it, to be honest.
Well, okay,
Well,
Our
so
leaderships aren't the greatest for it.
can we talk about the glaring issue here? We have this
Sure.
leadership, and when you deal damage, another allied character within 5 of the attacking character gains 1 power. That on its
Yep.
own sounds all right. It's not a crazy leadership, but it's all right. Then you compare it to this one.
Yeah.
This one is consistent. You can guarantee it. It's always going to happen. You're not rolling dice, and you could get screwed on those dice. And there's no range restriction. It just happens, and it's not. Oh, it is once per turn, but
It is once per turn.
it just happens. It's going to be happening on your opponent's turn as well, because you have all sorts of defensive tech for that. Professor X himself is supporting that because he has reactive rerolls that can work for himself or allies.
Yeah.
Whereas Cyclops,
That was the
yeah,
biggest issue I was looking at while trying to think of what we can do with Cyclops. Because if you want to play attrition X-Men, you kind of don't bring your attrition leader. Like,
it's weird,
you
right?
want to play Professor X because he's so much more effectively is assisting that game plan with extra power, with the rerolls.
Yeah,
Even his threat range, it's slightly smaller, but he's still got that range 4. It's a mystic attack.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
Cyclops has a lot of things going on.
Yeah, like I do want to make this clear. Cyclops is the better model.
oh, for sure.
Of the two.
I
Professor
mean,
X is very subpar model wise, but
and let's
Sure,
not discount Field Leader. Field Leader's a fantastic ability.
Field
No,
Leader's
I wanna focus on the positives for a second. Field Leader is an amazing ability. The fact that it can theoretically advance different characters on the same turn, amazing stuff. I think
yeah.
Hit and Run is just fine, especially with his longer range attacks. And I think Quick Draw is a fine defensive ability.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but it's fine.
No, I'm with you. I think like it's not my favorite type of defensive ability, but it's there. It's solid. It's a deterrent. It's good.
Yeah. It's mostly just this leadership. It's so many ifs and buts, and it does not support the attrition game plan
no.
the way that you think that the attrition leadership could.
And I think
I
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the easiest things that I could say to take away from this are either remove the range restriction or remove the damage restriction on the leadership, just to make it a little more consistent, like Professor X's.
Yeah, I think
the damage would be scary to remove, to be honest.
I think if it says
the
targets,
damage definitely would.
If it says targets, that's a really like that becomes really good. Like you go with Domino, who's now targeting 4 characters and powering up your entire team.
Sure.
But I don't know if that's too far. Like that might be fine.
Because on a good turn where Domino's doing 1 damage with each of those attacks, she's doing that anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Domino should be doing damage with most of those attacks.
Yeah. Now, granted, we're no longer in the world of E-maps, so
that is
with the range restriction in place, she's probably not seeing everyone on your turn.
The range becomes a very real
range 5.
Yeah.
But if we get rid of that range restriction, I'm not saying both. Yeah. Definitely don't get rid of both damage and range.
I'm in the weird boat here of I feel like trying to change Cyclops' leadership though, you're either going to end up with something better than what Professor X has or worse rather than something that feels different.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is I think this is the first leadership I think we're talking about today where I think we might need to change it entirely or change it a lot because it is very similar to Professor X.
Or you make the thing that you're trying to do not power gain. Like, if you're going to be doing a leadership that is about like if you already have a leadership like Professor X in affiliation that is an exceptionally good power leadership, this is on the level of something like a Steve 1, I would say. Yeah. It's similar.
Yep.
If you're going to have a leadership like that in your affiliation, you don't have another power leadership. You do something different. I do like the idea of Cyclops having a leadership that maybe even does care about dealing damage and has some other restrictions on it, that has another effect that is in some way very meaningful for an attrition game plan. Whether that is something like maybe your attacks do like have like the headshot style rule. If they would deal a damage, they do 1 extra damage. Maybe they have
Something that
pushes or something. I don't know.
something I was kind of thinking back to like all of those wonderful team ups you saw, like team up attacks you see in like Krakoa and X-Men 97. I was thinking maybe we could go to something like a Killmonger 2 style leadership where we got the tokens, and you could
Okay.
have like you attack someone, you put a token on it, and then if another character attacks that person, they get rerolls on that attack, maybe,
I
or they get
love
extra
Oh,
that.
dice.
I like that. That's fun.
I love that
Yeah.
So
actually.
it encourages the kind of like he is the leader, he's coordinating these people to work together.
You get
He's
oh no, that's so cool. Because you've got speed of sight. You go with Cyclops and you're like, I'm gonna mark 4 targets for the rest of my team to just lay into.
exactly, and he gets to synergize with his leadership, and he's literally like, I'm gonna laser pointer these targets for you guys.
Oh, that's so
Makes
good.
beams a lot of fun too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
No,
that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that
Beams
idea.
are really cool in that leadership too. Yeah.
That
And
is
you start looking at a bunch of your more control-y characters like Iceman with his beams in different ways.
Yeah.
He suddenly has some really interesting synergy with Phoenix, where she can
Oh
do
yeah.
her beams on her unleashed side and start to like mark a bunch of people that she's not taking down.
Yeah. No,
No,
I
that's fun.
that
Yeah,
is
I like that.
like I think there's a little bit of a mess with the whole like how many tokens you're gonna need for that. Like how many are you allowed
No,
to have out at a
it
time?
would certainly have to be like a capped number of tokens. I was thinking maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So you're not putting like you can't just have, like you said, Cyclops get 2 speed of sight triggers and go, okay, 4 of your characters I've got rerolls on now.
Well, I'm also
But
thinking like something along the lines of like if we were saying if they damage them, they put the token on, right?
yeah.
So I think they only can put the token on if they didn't have a token at the start of the attack. So because you can't just
Oh,
infinitely
absolutely.
reroll that same token.
Sorry, I was going to I was picturing that in my head and neglected to clarify that. They can only have 1 token.
Yeah, well, and if you use the token, you can't reapply it in the same attack. I think is
Yes,
important.
absolutely.
Domino
Yeah.
can't just
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, I'm gonna get four attacks that all have this benefit," right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that idea. That is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I was maybe thinking something along the templating of current ASM where it's like if they didn't have a token, you can put the token on, and if they did have the token, you can do the rerolls.
Yeah.
And that way it's only once per turn, you only get that
No, that would be really
so you
cool.
can't double dip. But I think it would be an interesting attrition leadership, and it's doing
Yeah.
something different than the other 2 leaders in the faction.
And you know what? I think you can hand out 4 or 5 of them.
Sure.
Maybe 4. I think 4. Oh, I didn't mean to click on Domino. 4 so it works with Cyclops like perfectly. Like he marks 4
Yeah, I think
targets and his team goes in.
4 is a nice sweet spot.
Yeah,
And
you
he's got
run
his
four
beam
is-
as well.
you run an
4 is fine
average of
because you have
5
to
models.
basically double dip activations.
Yeah. No,
So-
you run an average of 5 models. Cyclops marks 4 targets, and then your other 4 models all get a benefit. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you start looking at characters like Logan with his beam, Gambit with
Yeah.
his beam, and they start really getting some work done.
No, that is. It's sad because I do think one of the problems with them actually, going through and implementing something like that is that they would have to then provide those tokens to a model that's been in the game for how long?
No, that is definitely like a logistical issue,
Yeah.
but
I mean, slightly solved by the fact that he's being repacked right now, but that's not gonna. Unfortunately, I think we're too late. We would have seen it if they were changing him with that. So,
probably.
but still, really, really cool idea. I'm definitely down for that. So, yeah, okay, that's super cool. All right, I think that's probably a good point to end on Cyclops because we're not going to go up
Yeah.
from there. All right, so I guess we're back to me, aren't we?
We
So
are.
my second one is an interesting one because it's a leader that I've been kind of disappointed with from the very beginning as soon as I saw their leadership, I kind of wrote them off as that's not a real leader, and that's
Oh
Klaw.
yes.
Oh, Klaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a similar boat to our what's it called? Hydra Zemo here. In the boat of very few games considered compared to the affiliation. And a 40% win rate, very comparable win rate as well.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves a lot to be desired, and I think part of that is because his leadership really isn't a real leadership in an affiliation that has 3 solid leaderships in it.
Yeah.
So let's look at him here. For those unfamiliar, because you probably don't see Klaw at the table very often, when an allied character's days are KO'd after the effect is resolved, he may advance small. He may advance small. That's it. It's just Klaw.
Yep. It's just Klaw.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I want to start with this. Because yeah, this leadership is not a leadership. This is an ability. This is a passive on Klaw's card that he only gets if you're not running a leader.
Yeah,
This reminds me of worse Sam leadership.
It's
In a lot of
it's
ways.
so much
selfish.
well like worse like Malekith or Medusa, I'd say. More than Sam.
It's a wildly.
Oh wait, no, it's
selfish
allied
leadership.
character. Oh my god,
It's allied here.
never mind. You're right.
This
Sam.
this one does work with grunts, which Sam doesn't. But yeah,
Like,
True.
that's the only upside.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
there's a part of me that's like, if you just say an allied character may advance small, this is almost fine. But
Yeah.
it becomes a worse version of like Sam's leadership, but
Yeah.
like
Maybe give them a put the once per round restriction, but maybe give them a power when they advance too, kind of like a weird Malekith version of Sam's.
or maybe you do a hybrid. Maybe an allied character may advance small, but Klaw gains a power or something like that. Like you get to
Yeah,
sure
your
if
leader-
you want to
it's
keep
still
that
selfish.
selfish. Yeah.
It kind of takes from that like Loki 2, where he's getting powered up from this.
Yeah.
Like I think something like that could be interesting. And it kind of works with the idea of like Klaw is supplying this benefit to your team, and he's getting the money, he's getting the profit for it. Which I think works for what Klaw is and what he should be representing as a leader. So, do we think that's enough though? Like, what about Klaw as a model?
Klaw as a model feels like he's in a really weird spot. Like a lot of the things on his card are good.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Soundwave Barrier is good.
It
Yeah.
is good, yeah.
Constitute Form is good. His Absorb Vibrations is good. His 4 immunities is good. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't see him all that often. And I know because his leadership is bad, but like why is he not being played as just a 5 threat?
Well, let's actually. I think that's exactly why. Is that the 5 threat slot, especially in a world with Namor right now, is so coveted.
That is true. He's got a lot of really good competition.
Yeah, I mean, even
I also
in
feel like-
affiliation,
Yeah, like I also feel like outside his leadership, he is basically just a he's just a turret. He kind of
Yeah.
needs mobility, and that's what his
Yeah.
leadership gives him.
yeah,
But without it, he's just kind of sitting still, and he doesn't even shoot that impressively compared to other models. Like most of his power is in the Soundwave Barrier, and you need to get that effect off.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like if you bump him to range 4, that helps with that problem a fair bit.
I was gonna say if you bump up his range to 4 or even 5, like I don't hate 5 either. You kind of lean into the
I was
fact that
gonna
he
say-
is just a turret.
I was gonna say 5 might be pushing it, but Cable exists, and yeah,
Yeah. He doesn't have
Yeah.
the rerolls that Cable does.
no, that's
Uh,
like he's got one more die, but that's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be fine.
He's just kind of he gets to be your like backfield. He stands on a back point, and if they try to go deal with him, you can soundwave barrier them away.
Yeah,
he has
like
a really good ability to hold a back point.
I'll absolutely stand by Soundwave Barriers. Freaking amazing! Like that ability is so good, and it does work really well with the leadership he has on his card right now. But I just feel like it's definitely way too selfish. It puts so much of a target on his back as well, which you don't really want for your leader, especially when he's not particularly bulky.
No, like if he survives, he'll heal. That's good, but
Yeah, I mean that is the thing. But even then, it's only 2, and
it's 2 for 2.
2 for 2. Which
Maybe bump it up to 3 healing, to be honest.
Sure,
Yeah.
like Groot style.
Yeah, a little bit like Groot.
Yeah, yeah, I don't hate that.
He's not the hardest model to take out, so it's like it shouldn't be that much if it feels bad.
No, that's
No,
that's where I'm at.
he's got fine defenses.
Yeah,
Like
like
they're nothing to write home about.
he's got deterrence more than defenses, right? With like the absorb
Yeah.
vibrations and sound wave barrier being like you don't want to end close to him, you don't want to power him up too much. But in terms of actual defensive tech, like I guess he's immune incinerate.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. Like he's gonna be rolling 3 dice against physical or mystic. His energy defense is great. There's no notes, but
Yeah, but if you put him against a long range energy or mystic attacker, he's just folding.
Yeah. But I think if you do just make it like budget Sam, but it powers up Klaw, like you're giving him that spender more often, and that spender is pretty solid. It's not crazy. I think at 5 cost it's overcosted, but it's not bad. And
No, like the Beam 5 is not nothing, but I think especially now that we don't have ease, you're really not hitting that crazy beam the way that you really want it to.
no, I think like 3 is an optimistic high.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could probably go down to 4 power as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
Because
do agree.
Cyclops, we were just talking about Cyclops. Cyclops' beam is a beam 5, 4 power, 7 dice. Doesn't have the pierce, but he's a 4 threat. So
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
like,
actually I almost
fine.
100% agree with that. I think you bring that down to a 4, you fix his leadership the way we've discussed, and he's fine. I think he's a very playable leadership. I think he becomes an interesting kind of. He probably becomes your extract leader. 'Cause he can still play the secure game himself, but the mobility helps you in a way that Kingpin doesn't. He probably
Sure.
becomes the extract leader.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And I think that's
He'll
that's
definitely have
neat.
some interesting play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that makes him interesting. I don't know if it's enough to really see him get played that much more, but I think
But
it
that
opens
also-
a new style for Crimson.
And it creates a really interesting potential criminal syndicate roster where you're looking at Kingpin, Klaw, and Shadowland maybe all being in your roster at once, and you're kind of psyching your opponent out on what kind of game plan you are playing at and being able to flex into different things.
Also, I'm just checking enemy characters that end their activation within 2. Omega Red would actually synergize really, really interestingly with that too. Because not only do you
Yeah.
have Claw pushing them into Omega Red, but you also have Omega Red walking into them at the end of their activation.
Yeah, they take someone out with their attack, and now Omega Red walks next to them and poisons them.
And any excuse to put Omega Red on the table again and make him played more. Like I've been loving that now that Emma's got an actual affiliation list, he has a home, and I think that's another one for him. So I'm excited about that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I think like personally, I'm happy with that for Claw. I think that helps him in a big way. So yeah. Alrighty. We'll continue on from there then, unless you guys have more notes for him. All good.
No, I think I'm
Covered
good.
it all.
Yeah.
Cool. So Reed, you're up next here. Who's your next pick here?
Killmonger, Usurper.
Yes. Alrighty.
Yep.
So yeah, this is definitely a bit of a pet model for you.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. So, is that the worst one of the
Yeah,
video?
he's also.
I
he's
think
pretty
that's the
bad.
worst one
Oh,
of the video.
yeah, it's not good.
So his play rate
It's
isn't
not
quite
good.
as abysmal as the other 2 that we recently talked about, but it's not good either. And especially compared to M'Baku gets so much. Wow. Okay. Anyways, 38% to the next highest being 50%. He is dragging that down. Why is that?
Okay, so I want to start off with another, again, outside of leadership thing. Killmonger exists, OG Killmonger. And
Yeah.
for some reason,
Oh, no.
You have a theme here, Reed.
I do, because I got complaints about it. So my main thing is, as a model, he's fine. And I think the difference between him and original Killmonger is a lot less of a gap between Zemo and original Zemo.
100%.
But my main complaint is, why does the model called Killmonger Usurper not get to play Usurp the Throne?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You
he's
have
already
nothing to usurp it.
He already usurped. That's past tense.
It's not Killmonger usurped. It's Usurper. He should be usurping more thrones.
He's actively usurping.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I got nothing to justify that one. You're right.
There might be other parts of his kit you can improve a bit more, but that's my main thing. Because like as a model, like he's playable.
Yeah, he's
I
fine.
don't. Yeah, he's fine. Maybe you could make his pounce longer. Is my other thing. Maybe make it medium instead of small.
Sure.
That would be helpful. Just get some extra range, but that's pretty much it. But my other thing is the leadership feel like they played it a bit too safe. It's either get an additional die if you use the herb tokens, and you get like 3 of them, like Star Lords
Mhm.
at the start of the power phase. But if you hold on to your herb token, you take a damage and you gain a power at the end of the turn. I do actually like this design. I do like playing this leadership. It is fun with some models like Rhino when you have Ornery and you get like additional power
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
keeping it the
mention
first
that because
round.
you were playing around with that for a little bit, and it seemed to work all right for you.
Yeah, and I think the leadership should not quite be at a 38% win rate. I do think there's some juice in it, but I think you should get more for using these herb tokens. So my first suggestion is make it so when you take the damage from the holding the herb, it gives you 2 power instead of 1 because you're actively suffering a downside.
Sure.
I think it should be better than cubes.
Sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I don't mean to make a really derogatory comparison, but the gaining 2 power thing is what Sentinels do, and they're not swimming in power over there. I think it's a fine amount.
Yeah, and also that's
Fair.
at end of activation. This is like completely at the end of the turn. So
Yeah,
there's even
yeah, this is even
more.
later.
Yeah.
My other suggestion, I don't know if you want to include both or not. I think adding additional attack dice is okay. I don't think it's that interesting. I was thinking maybe use the herb token and give your next attack an auto pierce.
Interesting.
So
I like that. I
you
was actually really
yeah,
worried you were about to say auto success, but
no,
auto
no,
pierce I think is way more interesting.
because it requires them to actually roll a defensive block,
Yeah.
and you have to declare it before you see any dice, so you could still
Mhm.
whiff it.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it gives you something valuable. Because I can't just suggest Star Lord's leadership and reroll 2 dice.
I was thinking the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
how do you make this not just slightly different winging it?
But I think
Yeah,
auto pierce is really interesting.
I do as well.
the,
I
and
think
the-
that's cool.
and I think you might be able to give him honestly both of the changes I suggested, and the leadership might be fine. Because I don't think you're actually holding herb tokens onto characters beyond the first round. Um, and I think just having the restriction to use it on offense means the auto pierce could be fine as well.
Yeah, because I also don't think the auto pierce is like it's definitely better, but it's not so much better than one die that it's like it's not gonna make or break it, right?
No, I don't think it's absurd.
Like I think if you do that by itself, you haven't done enough.
I don't know if you want to make it different than Pierce, like so you could use normal Pierce because that kind of has some weird anti synergy with his builder.
No, I think you have to make it different from Pierce. Like
Yeah, like
that's
maybe like I mean it's not actually called Pierce, so I guess you could apply both. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting one. I'd also be like tempted to see if instead of Pierce it was like some sort of like condition you apply or something like that because that also I feel like could work and make it unique, but
yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't know what condition that would be. Like there's a tiny part of me that's like, what if it was one herb and it gave stagger? But
oh lord,
Oh.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one either. I don't
I
hate
don't
it
think
being like maybe a choice of like poison or bleed or maybe something else. You
yeah.
have a couple options you could put on there.
Yeah, like
Because
oh, that would be cool
I don't
actually.
think Wakanda really has a conditions leadership in any way, shape, or form.
No,
'Cause
not at all.
what if it was like yeah,
Baku gets rid of conditions.
what if you attack, you get to choose between you have like the pierce thing or your attack can give out like a bleed or your attack could give out I don't know, some other condition. Like you get like 2 or 3 choices for what this attack will gain.
Mhm.
That
Yep,
would
that
be
could also work.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think that
that'd
makes
be
it
cool too.
cool. Yeah,
I was
that
also thinking
becomes
about
the
giving.
sequence.
The other thing I was considering was this would require a lot more of a rework, but using the herbs to mirror the Spirit of Wakanda card. Give like
Okay.
minor effect. Like I'm trying to remember exactly what it does, but it basically can give out power, heal, or remove conditions. But like give like a minor version of each of those for the herbs. Like maybe the herbs can remove specific conditions, kind of like Doc Ock. Heal like 1 damage or give 1 power.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, remove a damage, remove a condition, or remove a or gain a power. Um, something like that
Sure.
could work well.
That could be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be down for something like that. I, yeah, no, I think that would be fine. I'm like, I was half leaning towards maybe you don't even have to change the numbers on it. Maybe it's fine, but no, I do think you want to change the numbers.
You do have to change the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's definitely an interesting change. And yeah, I think like you give him usurp, like you said, and you make those changes to the leadership. Like really, like I like the idea of gaining 2 power, and I like the idea of it doing something that isn't an extra die, whether that is conditions or a pierce or a choice or whatever.
Yep.
And I think that makes him at the very least more interesting, and probably a fair bit better.
Yeah.
So
So I do find that leadership is one of the more interesting Wakanda leaderships. I just find it's not that powerful.
yeah, and it also like you mentioned with the like one attack die, it starts out really interesting. It's got some really cool parts to it, but then its actual main effect is like actually really boring.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's good, but it's really boring. Like one die, let's not knock that too much because it is a good like that is a solid buff to an attack, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting in the first round, and then it's
Yeah.
additional offense afterwards, which is fine.
And at that point, winging it is better beyond the first round,
Yeah.
most of the time at least.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Okay,
And when you can only use it on defense as well.
that's true. Yeah,
Oh
Alright.
yeah, because this is only attacks.
only for attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ugh.
At that point, you could almost say 2 dice, and it would be like still.
Ooh, I wouldn't add 2
I,
dice.
I wouldn't want to either, but like you could almost get away with it. I think. Let's not pretend that winging it is the most balanced leadership in the game, because it
Yeah.
is also kind of cracked. But
It doesn't have to be weak. It does not have to
listen,
be weak.
Alex, you and I both play enough Guardians that we can't even pretend.
No,
okay?
no, you're right. You're not. You're right.
Anyways, all right, Alex, what's your final pick here?
Star-Lord, no.
Star-Lord. All right, well, looking at Longshanks here for Star-Lord. Oh my god, Guardians are lower than I expect them to be. Why are they so low? Why is nobody playing Guardians right now? He's a 49. He's eligible. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, okay. Well, we're not talking about him. We're talking about someone who we were talking about who started this whole discussion in the first place, Elsa Bloodstone.
Yes, Elsa was the one who inspired this topic for the video. Elsa's an
She's
interesting one.
really interesting. When she got announced and we saw her card, there was a lot of discussion around her. She's got a really interesting toolboxy leadership, and boy, howdy did it not land.
Also, I'm just going to throw it
No.
out there before we go dive into the discussion. Read one. Killmonger has the lowest win rate of the ones we
What
talked about.
the heck?
Let's go.
Should have
but,
gone with Corvus.
Oh god. Yeah, so I'm right there with you. When Elsa was first revealed, we were all really interested in this leadership, and then she
Mhm.
really didn't make a splash.
No, I think there's a lot of things that aren't going well for it. I think, listen, I don't want to keep saying it, but now that we don't have E-maps, Boom is a lot worse.
Right, drinking game for everyone watching at home. Every time Alex said,
No,
now that we
no.
don't have maps. I think it's only like 3 or 4. We're not that bad, but
It's fine. But yeah, now like that got hit by the change in objectives, and I think especially Silver Bullet, but to a smaller degree, all of it really sucks on the timing of when you have to pay the power. You
Yeah.
having to do it beforehand, like if you pay power and you whiff the attack with Silver Bullet, it kind of feels like you wasted it. If you paid the power beforehand and you one-shot them with Horrify, sure, you one-shot a guy, but then you paid a power for them getting root and it didn't do anything, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I
there's
agree.
a lot of feels bad opportunities that could come out of this leadership.
Yeah. No, it's It's a weird one. Like you say, like the loss of EMAPs made Boom so much less threatening than it was originally. I think it was Reed, it was you that was talking about like you did play
Oh,
against
I
this once on an
hated it.
EMAP, and Boom was just oppressive. So that might be a good thing.
Oh
But
yeah,
No, I'm not.
yeah. It
I'm
was
not
it was
saying
it was, it was a bit much on E shapes.
I'm not saying let's bring back E shapes or let's extend the range on this or anything like that. I'm just saying that as things have changed, she's only gotten worse, and she didn't start by making a crazy splash.
no,
Um,
no. I mean,
I think if you want to try and if you want to keep the power cost there, you could change the timing on it. Boom would suffer on the before damage is dealt part, but if you want to make the choice before you after dice re-rolls or something, that way you can kind of pick which option's actually going to work out best for you.
I mean, if you just
I
stack it to before damage is dealt,
Yeah,
Boom still works. Like you just have Boom happen right after.
yeah.
I would
So
like I think I'd like the timing maybe before the resolves critical step because I do think I think the silver bullet you shouldn't get full information yet.
Sure. I don't
Um,
hate resolve criticals.
because like I think it's good to have like some information on mainly on your attack dice.
Mhm.
So that way you know if you rolled well yourself, but I don't think you should get full information on what the opponent rolled
I
because
think
otherwise
that's a
you could
fair.
really abuse it. Um,
Yeah, I think
like
that's
yeah,
a fair
before
time
the
to put it.
defending character rolls their dice or something even.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would yeah actually yeah that would be good.
It becomes a nightmare for like events where your opponent just rolls their dice not thinking about it, and now it's like, well, we've technically skipped a
Yeah,
step, but also it's your fault.
that's
Um,
why I put it after the modify opponent's dice step, because that's
yeah.
it is once you've had information or maybe before modifying dice step. So you're about to do your re-rolls and see things, but you've got some information on how things stand as they are.
Yeah, because I just know like with the strict timing in the middle of the sequencing like that, Red Skull 3 I played a fair bit in events and stuff like that, and even in competitive events with high rated players, that gets that remembering to stop at that step gets skipped a lot. Like my opponent's already rolled everything, and they're it's like, yeah,
Sure.
well,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to cheat here, but also you didn't give me an opportunity to use my cool thing.
Sure.
my main thing
It
is
is.
it's part of the game though at this point where it's like
Oh
we've
yeah,
had it across all the models, so I think it's fine to implement it in another one.
I just mean it can lead to some feels bad and some questionable
Oh,
moments of
for
like,
sure.
are you trying to cheat or did I get ahead of you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the changing timing on that isn't something I love because of that weird
that's why I suggest before
actual.
damage is dealt because that's a very
Yeah,
like there's going to be a pause at that point in time.
yeah. Another option could be just make it once per turn, but you don't have to pay the power for it.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah, I think that's also fine.
Like,
In a world with emaps, no, absolutely not. But yeah, that's fine.
well, yeah, but you could still run into situations where it doesn't do anything. You have a turn where your leadership didn't do anything. You chose Silver Bullet and you whiffed.
Yeah,
It's not great, but you're not also out of power for that, right?
yeah. No, I
It,
agree.
it it's a leadership that I have found more times than not when, oh well, I actually paid a power to do nothing. That's great. Anyways, now I can't do my other stuff.
Yeah,
Speaking of other stuff, I think she's a fine card otherwise.
I
She's a
I
Oh
fun
was
no
gonna
no
character.
model
say
she's fine.
her
Yeah.
one issue that I have with her as a model is that she kind of falls to the same stuff Blade falls to. That just being like
Yeah,
energy attacks are a clear weakness for her. Her defenses, even without that, aren't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Um, like that's kind of
Her
always been an issue on
defenses
Blade's
be
end.
literally the same as Blades. I believe they're
Identical. Uh,
outside of him healing, they're identical
yeah,
defenses.
yeah.
Which
Blade
yeah.
has
means that
healing,
you
so he's
have
actually
no,
bulkier.
yeah, you
Although
have
she does
no,
attack from longer ranges, I'll give her that.
She
yeah,
does. And that was one of the
she
things we
does.
talked about when she first released too, was like, oh, she's longer range, so she'll survive longer, and that's her upside against Blade. But the problem is people just dive her and she dies anyways.
Yeah,
That's true too.
And also her weak side being energy means the longer range, like a lot of energy attacks are also longer range, so that really doesn't end up mattering as much.
yeah. I wouldn't hate seeing like maybe her spender go up to range 4 to kind of keep her at that further range.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
mean,
fun too.
I also, yeah, like I'm pretty mid on her spender too. It's
It's
in
not
niche
amazing.
cases
I don't
quite
love
good, but
Degeneration.
yeah, I don't know.
Degeneration feels to me like in a similar boat to the leadership. Like Degeneration is so niche and it's so like specific that you can hit it every single time you spend her and it can do nothing the entire game.
Yeah. Like there are specific
Yep.
models that's clearly designed to be good against I Hulk, and also most of the monsters having healing factors. It's kind of like the obvious like flavorful rule in there.
No,
And he doesn't
there
know,
is
but
some there's a lot of flavor to it. There's a lot of interesting stuff to it, but like if your opponent didn't bring anything that heals, if they didn't bring patch up, it it can just do nothing the entire game.
yeah,
And it never feels good to just have effectively a line of rules text removed from your character.
no, I do
Uh
agree.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it being like you can do the degeneration effect or put a condition on them, maybe.
sure.
Like that way,
Yeah.
if you're
Or maybe
you
it's
could just
both. Maybe Degeneration
maybe
does
it's
that
both.
and it puts like a slow or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's both.
She already gives out slow, like maybe
She does,
something.
but maybe it's a
Yeah.
hex. I don't know.
Sure,
Yeah.
she doesn't give out
Yeah.
Hex. Why not? Let her
Yeah,
give
Yeah.
out Hex.
Sure.
It's a
Yeah.
blood
Hex would be
gem
fine.
blast. It's Mystic.
exactly. It
She
makes
can Hex
sense.
someone.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't hate it. Um,
I think
Or
another thing
judgment.
that
I would like to see more judgment.
yeah,
Judgment would be good.
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Another thing that I think is interesting is she does have like a long range play style, and Midnight Suns really doesn't.
Yes, that is the other kind of like elephant in the room with that is like Moon Knight, and I guess now that he's good, OG Doctor Strange.
Now Doctor Strange,
Incontu
Incontu's
can as well.
Spender,
Yeah, which
but he does
pseudo spender or
kind of
whatever.
require some setup on that.
Yeah,
It's
he
So
can
I
not
be
think
mostly
too
that
bad.
self-sufficient after round one, but yeah.
yeah, uh, I think if they just brought in some more gunline characters to the affiliation,
You know
some
what?
characters with some longer range stuff.
Doctor Strange post buff, I actually really like with Elsa.
I
That's
don't hate it.
yeah. I don't know how many people have like tried playing around with that. Maybe people have already determined it's pretty bad, but um, I think that could at least be interesting for her. Unfortunately, the timing with Boom and the push don't work for you, but
Yeah,
um,
it
I
comes
was, I
down to the
was
Yeah.
timing issue again. Yeah.
yeah. Although in that case, like that if you go the other way, it could have the same issue that
Sure,
the
sure.
condition does. So either one, but um,
I
I think that
couldn't. I
I
would
think
like
there
to see
are
some
tools there.
more. Yeah, but I would like to see some more. Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. Get them in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Sure.
know about that one, but
Okay.
I don't know if
That
you
one's
remember.
canon. That one's canon.
I
And
know, but I don't know about that one.
this is a personal hill to die on.
Listen,
But Wolverine is in the current run of Midnight
oh no, I'm
Suns,
with you there. Wolverine,
and one time Scarlet Spider was on the team, so put him here
no.
too.
Wolverine, Scarlet Spider, and Magic should all be in this affiliation. That doesn't help our
Oh
problem
my
with
goodness,
Elsa.
my list of people to add was going off the idea that Magic was in here. Why is Magic not in here?
Yeah, let's not get
No
started on
idea.
A Force. But
Don't get me
no,
started on A Force.
Encantu should be in Shield, but I do not believe the Howling Commando should be in Midnight Suns. I will draw
Yeah,
a
What?
line
that
there.
feels like a
The reason
feels weird.
Encantu should be in Shield is because he was part of the Howling Commandos.
Yes, but the Howling
Yes.
Commandos were not part of Midnight Suns.
Now we're getting pedantic.
Alrighty. On that note,
Okay.
I think we have had we've said our piece on Elsa. But yeah, I do agree that she's definitely a leadership that I think is kind of on the cusp of being like really, really solid still. And she's in a kind of unfortunate product of she was designed in a world where that had EMAPs and things like that were really good for her. But then before the box actually dropped, those went away.
Yeah.
So she's definitely a weird product of her time, and I would love to see some changes either to the affiliation or to her specifically, kind of bring her back in. So we have passed the hour mark here, so I think we're gonna start trying to kind of wrap things up here. But
Absolutely.
real quick, do we have any honorable mentions we wanna kind of throw out here?
Corvus Glaive.
Corvus. The problem with that is that Thanos isn't a real leader right now either, just because Black Order isn't a real affiliation. But
Yeah, that becomes its own video.
that becomes its own video, which might be a video for a later day. I'm sure Reed will love the discussion. It's all about Black Order.
Oh yes,
so
I'm an expert on Black Order.
Corvus is definitely an honorable mention worth throwing around there. One that I was thinking about was actually OG Thor. I still think his leadership is great, but he's just not being played. If I remember correctly,
Personally, have seen a lot of resurgence of him, but
I've seen some resurgence of him.
like he's not
Yeah.
as bad as a lot
the
of the other
data
ones we
is
talked
not
about, but-
agreeing with us on this.
Like, yeah, he's being played a lot less, and his win rate is like not insignificant.
That's not awful.
It's not awful.
It's not
He's not
It's
awful. Like he's definitely not as bad as some of the others we talked about here, but he's leaving a little to be desired.
Someone I mulled over for a bit, but couldn't actually come up with any good answers on was actually Invincible Iron Man and Shield.
We talked about that one briefly before this, yeah, because he's another weird one of just like, he's not bad. I think he's just kind of outshone by Namor and Fury.
He absolutely is, and when I looked at his win rate, and play rate, it was not optimistic.
Yeah, like let's see.
Yeah.
Where's Shield? Oh, Shield's doing real well right now. Yeah, like his win rate is 50%, which isn't awful. Like that's actually that's fine.
That's solid.
But his play
That's
rate is
solid.
very
Okay.
very low. He's right beside OG Steve
Yeah.
as leader. And OG Steve is not one that we're really going to talk about right now. But
Steve is legally a leader.
yes.
I mean, it's the same leadership as Namor. It's just
Another one that I was going to throw around.
Option is Namor, so.
Another one I was going
Yeah,
to throw
for sure.
around was going to be, I know, Alex, you mentioned Sin as kind of the easy pick for this one, but also OG Red Skull, who's actually a lower win rate than Sin.
Yeah.
OG Red
he's
Skull
a
just needs a
weird
better
spot.
model.
Yeah, I agree.
He just
His
needs to be a
leadership is
better
fine.
model. The leadership is fine.
Yeah, I am with you 100% there.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's Sin's problem. Well, okay, Sin has more than that problem, but
What
Sin
about
has
the
that
character who really isn't getting enough play in his
Are you
affiliation?
about to- are you-
Wolverine,
God dang it.
leader of X.
And on that note, everybody, I hope you guys have enjoyed episode 1 of Roll for Priority. Definitely looking forward to doing more of this series. Alex, Reed, thank you guys for joining me with this. I'm looking forward to this. I think this is going to be a fun series where we just kind of get to sit down, chat about some of the things that we like and dislike about all these games that we play. Again, mostly MCP, but we're going to be trying to throw in some other topics here and there because I want to mix things up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really fun series, and I hope you guys watching at home have enjoyed this kind of pilot for it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So definitely leave your guys' thoughts down below. Do you guys agree with some of the things that we were saying here? Do you guys agree with the leaders that we talked about? What kind of changes we would make? And definitely throw your own around as well. If there are any leaders you guys really wanted to touch on, throw your ideas in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys were thinking. So yeah, that's going to do it for us for this first episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do tons of Wargaming content here, mostly battle reports and now this series. So if you're a fan of Wargaming, which if you've gotten over an hour into this video, you probably are, definitely feel free to jump on in. But otherwise, that's going to do it for this one. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Peace.